What up, YouTube? Back with the Will account. And honestly, another tough week, another tough call from my end, selling a covered call on Robinhood. Gosh, I keep taking L's with these covered calls. It's all right. Let's look at the contract that I sold. So I'm selling this contract to someone who has the right to buy my Robinhood shares at $75, and I have to sell them at 75. Robinhood is trading at 86. So I'm giving up $1,140 just because I sold this contract. So tough lesson. That's actually under our cost basis, the $75. So we're actually going to lose a good bit of cash. So if we do 84.91 minus 75, that's basically $1,000 that we're losing because I sold this contract to someone. So this kind of sucks. We've collected a good bit of cash from Robinhood, and I'll show you guys in the spreadsheet how that looks. But regardless, it's still going to be like a $500 loss or more. And that's the downside of covered calls. Whenever you get Robinhood on a 20% week, look at this. Gosh, 21%. It's only Thursday, so maybe the bear gods will come to my salvation and tank Robinhood back to 75. But honestly, I don't think that's going to happen. So most likely I'm going to have to give up my shares at 75, eat that loss, and we're going to have to go sell some cash secure puts. Let's look at how that looks on the cash secure put side. So these premiums are a little different because I'll probably only sell one next week. So it's going to look different. But at this point, I could probably sell at the money. So I could sell at 258. I could sell at 214, $84, $85 strike once I get my cash. And that's going to be the way we're going to do. We're going to have to sell these things at the money so we get our $500 back. And in 2 weeks, we should be back to that. Let's look at May 1st. Maybe I'll sell a longer duration one. Maybe I'll sell a 450 premium at 85. Not necessarily a bad call right here. I think Robinhood is going to ramp up, and kind of sucks because I like the stock and I didn't want to give up my shares. But I'm not buying the contract back at this point because there's so much premium attached to that contract. It's just valued at an insane amount. I'm going to just eat the L, get assigned because this thing got outside of my control, honestly. A 20% week on Robinhood is just insane. And it's fine. This is what happens whenever you sell covered calls, whenever you play with options. And honestly, going forward, I think I'm going to just sell a couple cash secure puts and I'll just bring updates on my portfolio. I'll get this account combined with the other account and I'll just chat over what I think of my different positions. Like we've covered in the past, but we got a little bit of Netflix that has actually been doing super well in this portfolio and Robinhood that they're probably going to get assigned now. So we're going to have only one share, but that's fine. We'll rebuild it back up. Let's take a look at Netflix. I have 82 shares at an 87 cost, and I wish I bought more, but I was kind of spread thin at the time, and I didn't want to over allocate to this. And it's worth almost $9,000 now. So super happy, 23% return. We've honestly seen a massive rally these last couple of weeks, this week really, and we're back to all-time highs. Like I mentioned on Monday, we could see all-time highs, and we're at it right now. We'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks. I think the bull market is kind of back. I could eat my words again like I have in the past. But like I mentioned, the market looks away from stuff so quick. They run war is not even a concern anymore. If you think about the war just exclusively, we're actually in a worse spot than where we were last week. So now we have the US and Iran blocking the Hormuz Canal, and in the past, it was just Iran. So now the US is blocking everything. So it's actually more steps towards bad things to happen. So I'm not sure what's going on with this market, but I'll take it. You know, the other account's up big. Can't lie. We're actually reaching all-time highs on the other account too. So I'm happy overall, even though we booked a $500 loss with this covered call experiment on Robinhood. Tough lesson to learn. But that's what happens whenever you try to play with options. And I know I keep saying this, but it's just a learning experience, guys. You're going to lose some, you're going to win some. And this market is insane. Honestly, I would advise you to stay away from selling calls. It's such a bullish market. I don't see how we're going to go back down again unless we have more escalation overseas. But even then, the market doesn't seem to care, which is crazy. So you just have to pivot your approach and run from there. But this is how it looks. We're bleeding a good bit here on Robinhood. And let's go into the Excel so I can show you guys how that looks on an income and premium earned scenario. Back to the Excel, we're on week 5, so I'll hide some of the numbers from earlier just so you guys can see my face here. But we sold a $75 strike like we talked about, expiring tomorrow on the 17th, and we collected $52. The problem is Robinhood is trading at 86 or 85 or whatever it is. So what I did here, I grabbed 75 minus our cost basis, which is 84.91. And I'll show you guys my cost basis here. So this is where we started at 84.91 minus all of the premium we've earned. And I should add the 52 as well, but at this point, it doesn't even matter because we're down 14.94 from these covered calls in the last 5 weeks. Gosh, that's pretty brutal. I think I'll take a break and reassess. This market has just been a little too crazy, honestly. And looking at this right here, I'm negative 939. So what I did was I grabbed my basis, my original basis of 84.91, and then I subtracted it by 75. And why didn't I calculate it with the new basis? Because we would be double counting. So I already have all of the credits going to here. And then if I were to just calculate my new basis with the new credits, I would have to minus them from this area. So some basic accounting, but we're down $939 at this price. Maybe Robinhood will trade at $80 tomorrow and we'll lose less money. We're still losing money, which sucks. And we're down $1,495 so far for our cash secure puts and covered call strategies. We're in the hole. We're in the hole, but that's fine. We're going to climb ourselves back. This is just a minor step in the wrong direction for us to have even better returns in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. We'll see if I keep trading these. This was a little experiment and it was working well at first until it doesn't. And that's honestly how these covered calls work and cash secure puts. It's just how it is. And you have to be understanding that these are the risks that you account for whenever you do this. But nevertheless, wanted to share this with you guys. If you like the spreadsheet, I have a copy of this in my description for free. You just click on the link, create a copy of it, and you can use it for your own trading journey. You can do positions in here. You can do whatever it is that you do. You have different drop downs. And this is not crazy. I actually have a better version that I plotted on the description. So you have a P&L with some more information here on the side. And you see it if you click on the link. It's just a Google Sheet. You just make a copy and you can run it for yourself. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, watching me lose some money in this crazy market. We'll see what we do next week. That will be week 6. And I'll keep you guys posted. But this is where we're sitting for now. It's April 16th at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And I appreciate you being here. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe. And any of the questions you have, leave them in the comments. I'm answering all of them. And I appreciate you being here. Talk to you soon.